Hi guys, it's Ray here, City Fan TV, Sunday evening, 9 o'clock on Sunday evening, here to update you with no City news. I don't think there's anything there, really, anything worthy of massive debate tonight. In terms of new stuff, and so the headline for today is, I think we can talk about Ederson. I really want to get an idea what you guys out there think of Ederson, how he's been this season. Whether you've been happy, whether you think it's been a good season, whether you've got any gripes with Ederson, let us know. And we'll look at some alternatives. Have we got anybody coming through? Have we got anybody to put pressure on him? That's basically what I want to talk about, pressure on Ederson. So let's just do a little bit of housekeeping until people get in. I'm just going to go on, send messages out and do a bit of editing. So yeah, not spoken for a couple of, to you guys for a couple of days. I hope you've enjoyed the history videos that we've put up recently. The one done by Ollie from Be Here Now about Manchester City ground. I think in the early days, it really was patches of grass. Stadium as such, or a stadium as such. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and stuff we did the other day about Paul Power, his goal in the Centenary FA Cup semi-final against that was at Villa Park, weren't it? Where we beat Ipswich by 1-0. And I think if you watch that and listen to the commentary, he scored in every round apart from one. Hi, Jack. Hope you are very well, Jack. Hope you're very well indeed. So, I think it might be a quiet night tonight. I've got a feeling a lot of people, I won't say hunkering down, but, it's weekend, Sunday night. I've spent most of my weekend playing a little bit with the kids, a bit of the old console, enjoying that DIY, a bit of cleaning, got to keep the old place, I won't say spick and span, but you got to do a bit of work around the house now and then, and catching up with friends in France, relatives as well, Skyping and WhatsApping and all that. So just trying to keep up with people, and it's keep their spirits up, keep your own spirits up, and try and be positive and move forward. Going to start off, I think it's just you and me, Jack, to start with. But I'm going to start off by talking, obviously, about what happened today in City's history. And in fact, I'm going to talk about the last 3 days, because I've got Cole's done the thumbnails, or not the thumbnails, but the pictures for me, so the backdrop. So I'm going to talk about the last 3 days, because I've not done a live stream for 3 days, which, as I said, City-wise, that's one of the reasons. And the other reason, you have your ups and downs. You have your ups and downs, guys. And you've had between us, we put some videos out every day. That's the minimum that we want to do, is keep putting a video out every day, and to give you some either a live stream or some history. And I've got another history one in the bag, done the voiceover or the commentary or the narration for that. So hopefully that one will come out this week sometime. And that's it. To repeat, if you haven't seen the one from Ollie and the Be Here Now video about the grounds from City, please go and check that out. And check anything out. It's nice if you guys can watch some of the videos. We don't make, as I said, we don't make any money from this. It's just nice for you to watch and give us a boost in the numbers. So let's talk about today, April the 12th. Well, you can see a picture there, Ron Saunders. And if you're a younger City fan, you might never have heard of him. Hi, Catherine. Hey, no one's late. No one's ever late. This is dip in and dip out whenever you feel like. So Ron Saunders, for younger City fans, might not have heard of him. but you might link him to places like Aston Villa. But he was a City manager. So 1974, on this day, he was sacked as City manager. We were outside the relegation zone on goal average. I think was it back in 74? They were still using goal average rather than goal difference. Basically, the goals you scored for average with the goals against, they worked out some sort of decimalization of percentages, and they used that rather than goal difference. And sadly, Ron Saunders passed away last December, so it's not that long ago. And he was at the time we had Mike Summerby, Franny Lee, Colin Bell, people like that. And yeah, so he passed away last December, and he was I'm just working this out, 86 years old, 87. So yeah, Ron Saunders. So I'm going to go, what I'm going to do is going to go back through the last couple of days. So because I've had them ready, I'm going to just quickly pick up the last 2 days, so you've got them as well. So on the 10th of April, so we're going to do recent stuff. Vincent, I'm not going to go through his full name. Vincent Kompany was born in Uccle in Belgium. That's on the 10th of April. So he was, I think he's 34 now. 34. So what a fantastic captain he was for City. And we will have a look what happened on this day. The 11th of April, Saturday, 11th of April, that was yesterday. And in 2012, City began a 6-game winning run that would ultimately see them crowned champions for the first time in 44 years. And obviously, you can forget the 93-20 moment from Sergio Aguero. And so we were 8 points behind United with 6 games to go. We beat West Brom 4-0, won the remaining 5 games. Bang, bang, bang. City were champions. So that's that. Going to move on to the fella that we want to talk about today, Ederson. Let's move the right way. So Ederson. I want to know, guys, Ederson, how has he been? Oh, wrong way. Ederson, what do you think? Has he been good enough this season? I want to get at least 1 or 2 people commenting what they think before I give you my opinion. But if no one's going to comment, then I'll give you my opinion anyway. Give you a minute, a few seconds. No, I'll give you a minute. It'll be quiet for a minute if no one says anything. Ederson. Okay, here I am. I'm going to say it. I've been disappointed with him this season. I have been disappointed. I thought when the season started, I felt his shot stopping had improved. I think we could see that early on. Ederson. Look, Ederson's a cracking keeper for distribution. The last couple of seasons, his distribution has been awesome, absolutely awesome. Short passes, long passes, out wide, drill passes. He's just been incredible. But for me, this season, and the only issue was some of his shot stopping wasn't where it should have been. And this season, it started off, you think his shot stopping has improved. He's got better at shot stopping. But I felt that his passing had got weaker. He wasn't passing as accurately, simple as that, as accurately as before. Hi, Steamy. Hi, Blue Chand. Well, the thing is, the way City play, he is like a sweeper keeper. That term. He has to come out. He has to rush out. And you will make mistakes. You can't play the way City play and not expect your keeper to come out and not expect him to make mistakes. It's going to happen. Manuel Neuer, he makes mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. But for me, he's made too many. He's made too many rash decisions, coming out the wrong time. I expect a few ricks a season, 2 or 3, but I think he's done more bad decisions to come out, made mistakes. That's cost us. Definitely cost us at times. Some of the mistakes he's made, where he could have sit on his line, let the defender try and kind of narrow the angle down rather than rush out. I think did it against Bournemouth? Did it one or two early in the season? Rather than run out and leave yourself in no man's land, and sometimes if someone gets there before you, or they can trickle a shot in, let your defender do the job sometimes to narrow the angle. You don't always need to rush out. Jack says, my opinion, Ederson has more of a role than most keepers in any team, but too many. Absolutely, I've said that. It's been too many mistakes for me. So for me, his shot stopping improved at the start of the season, but he's made too many clangers as well. He's made some absolute howlers. That goal by Martial in the derby should never have scored. So I think he's made too many howlers there in just shot stopping. Made mistakes in decision making, when to come out, when not to. And I think his passing has dropped off a level as well from the last two seasons. And Steamy says maybe needs more. That's what I was just about to say, Steamy. Needs more competition. He's too comfortable. And I said the same about Raheem Sterling. I said Sterling started off the season like a house on fire, scoring goals, creating chances, causing havoc. Okay? And then in September, he started dropping off because there's no competition. Absolutely no competition for Sterling. Sane was injured. Mahrez and Bernardo fighting on the other side of the pitch to play on the right. All to himself, and I think he let himself down. I think he didn't push through. He carried on scoring a few goals because he was getting in good positions and people were setting him up. But this season, he's got 11 goals. Very, very good. Got to be happy with that. He's played 24 appearances in the league, 11 goals, but only 1 assist, and that's got to be a massive disappointment. You look at overall, you say 12 goals and assists. It's not bad. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. He should have been somewhere around 20 goals and assists in 24 games. If you look at the last two seasons, he's got to around the 30 level in the season. So, late 20s, around 30. So you'd think of that. And it's the same with Ederson. Who's there? Who's putting pressure on Ederson? Look back when he came. Bravo had a bad season. Ederson comes. So Ederson can't rest on his laurels because he's got no laurels to rest on. First season of Ederson, Bravo is still there. It's still, I wouldn't say a force, but he's still a threat. You don't deliver, Bravo comes in. Ederson had a great season, that Centurion season, fantastic. Following season, Bravo gets injured. Muric comes back. He was on loan at NEC Breda, played one game, a 3-0 win for NEC Breda, and then he came back, which hampered Muric's career, or his development, let's say, not his career totally. It's down to him at the end of the day, but it's hampered his development. And he was second choice at City last season. So he was not on a par with Ederson. So he was not, he was not a threat. So Ederson's had a brilliant season, knowing that Bravo's there. Hi, Faris, hope you're well. Then Ederson had another good season with Muric there, and then Bravo's come back from injury. Ederson knows his place is not under threat. Not at all. And I think that's, as Steamy has already said, that's the reason why his form has dropped off, and his concentration. And yes, he still looks cool and everything else, but he's at a level he shouldn't be at this level. He should be much higher. And look, all these little things cost us. All these little things cost us at the end of the day. Look, Faris, De Gea and Pickford have made mistakes. I don't rate Pickford anyway. But the thing is, Ederson's made too many. For the way we play, I think Ederson's made too many. I said that Faris earlier on, I expect 2 or 3 mistakes a season. I expect that because of the way we play. You have to make quick decisions, split-second decisions, and sometimes you'll get it wrong, when to run out and whatever. But his shot stopping's dropped considerably. His shot stopping has dropped off. Maybe if we put together a video of the mistakes he's made this season in terms of passing, that's been poor. In terms of running out at the wrong time, that's been poor. And his shot stopping has dropped off as well. So he's made far too many for me. And you know, so then let's look at where's the pressure going to come from? Where's the pressure on Ederson going to come from? That's the question. So it's not going to come from Grimshaw, Jack Grimshaw, or Daniel Grimshaw. Sorry, it's not going to come from Daniel Grimshaw. He went off on loan. Was it not even in the League Two? I can't remember where he went to. Was it National League? So Daniel Grimshaw's not in the picture. Basically, Muric, he's not. He went to Nottingham Forest and he struggled there because he had a bad start and then he got dropped. So it's not going to come from Era Muric. We're not going to get Angus Gunn back. We sold him to previous season, so it's not going to be Angus Gunn. We've got two more goalies, and I can only remember one of them. I can't remember all the names. There's Zach Steffen. He's your man. There's Bazunu. That's it. The kid we got from Ireland, Bazunu. I think he's too young. He needs time to develop. Way too young. The one I'm looking at is Zach Steffen, who was at Fortuna Dusseldorf in Germany. And I think he's had a good season, Zach Steffen. And I think he, for me, is going to come back and put pressure on Ederson. Now, Bravo is out of contract. I don't expect us to renew Bravo's contract. And it might just be Bravo out, Zach Steffen in. Both, Bravo's non-homegrown, so that's not a problem. Him going frees up a non-homegrown slot, and that brings Zach Steffen in. Now, another option is to bring a homegrown keeper from somewhere else. You have to get a good number two. It has to be someone to challenge Ederson. There's no point getting someone like Scott Carson. Yeah, he's English. He's happy to play third fiddle, but he's not going to put a challenge into Ederson. You need someone who's going to challenge Ederson. Faris, the defense is more open. Look, Faris, a shot hit straight at him. Doesn't matter. If I hit 10 shots at him this season instead of 5 shots at him last season, I still and they're all easy saves. I expect him to save all of them, all 5 last season and all 10 this season. He's letting some howlers, and he's made some mistakes as well, where he's got lucky as well. So he's had more shots to stop, but some of them have been easy. He's had more decisions to make, and he's made, on percentage-wise, he's made, for me, far too many wrong decisions. But is anybody going to say Ederson's been the best keeper in the Premier League? I think most neutrals will not include him in the top 3, for instance. I wouldn't include De Gea, but for instance, Henderson's done much better. The fellow at Sheffield United, the United kid on loan at Sheffield United, I think he's done much better. He's had a very dependable season. People will argue that Alisson's done better. I'm not seeing enough of him. But Ederson, he'll struggle to get into most people's top 3 in the league this season. That's not good enough, really. It isn't. Faris' defence might be on, but there has been too many times that Ederson has conceded for 2 out of 3. Absolutely, Jack. He's conceded too many, and it's not the defence's fault. It's his concentration. That goal that Martial scored in the derby, no way should that have gone in. No way. Absolutely. If your goal is going to make silly mistakes like that, it's going to put pressure on the team. And the team didn't. Look, we weren't great that day anyway. But that mistake from Ederson obviously didn't help. So I'm hoping Zach Steffen comes back from his loan and he puts pressure on Ederson. I can't think of us getting anybody else just on a homegrown basis to allow us to have another non-homegrown slot for another outfield player. I just can't think of anybody. Unless you guys want to come up with the name of a homegrown goalkeeper, you could. But it's not just somebody to come in as a number 2. I don't want that. I want someone to come in and challenge Ederson and push him back to the level he was before and beyond. He signed a 6-year contract after his first season, so he's still got, in my mind, 4 years left. We don't want someone I want someone who's going to develop. You don't want him to stay static or go backwards. He has to keep developing. So I just can't think of anybody. People can talk about Pope or I'm trying to think who else. There aren't that many keepers who would be homegrown and then who are good enough to challenge Ederson. So I really think the idea, for me anyway, is let Bravo go, get Zach Steffen as a number 2 if you think he's good enough. Obviously, that's the powers that be if they think he's good enough. Guys, is there anything else to talk about? I'm just chatting away here. There's precious little to talk about. I mean, I will say it's a sad day for football. Peter Bonetti, the cat, he's passed away. He was probably most people will think of him, if you've heard of him, as a Chelsea player. He played for England as well. It's quite sad, obviously, that he's passed away. He was 78 years old. I think, from what I remember, he's been ill. He'd been ill for a while, you know, his main team basically. He's in England. He played for Chelsea for 15 seasons, almost 500 games. Then he went off to America, played for St. Louis Stars for a season, before coming back to Chelsea for 3 seasons, playing another 105 games, which actually got him up to 600 appearances for Chelsea, which is a heck of a lot. Still, I think Joe Corrigan, City, a goalkeeper from the 70s and 80s, I think he played 603 games for City. And after finishing at Chelsea, he went off to Dundee United, but only played 5 games. 86. I mean, he'd have been in 1986. He was 45 years old. Played a couple of games for Woking, but still, he had basically a 20-year career, and didn't win out at Chelsea. But he played a few times for England, 7 games for England, and he's very, very well, highly regarded. Well, Faris, I've got to say about Ederson, if you upset him, hard luck to Ederson. It's hard luck to Ederson. He has to step up. And if he doesn't step up, he steps out. Everybody's got to know that they are not irreplaceable. Even Aguero knows, if I mess up too much, Gabby Jesus can play. Mahrez knows, if I'm not delivering, Bernardo Silva can play there. The only people that at the moment that think I can walk into that team, Ederson, he thinks I can walk in. Aguero probably still thinks he can walk in. Fernandinho at centre back when Laporte's not there, and KDB. Rodri, probably Rodri as well, because Fernandinho's playing at the centre back, and Raheem Sterling. Catherine, okay, I give you a shout out right at the start by saying hi, but hi to Catherine again. So, you know, if Ederson's not happy, tough luck, because everybody needs to be feel their place is under pressure. Even Walker, we felt his early performances were great because of the pressure of having Joao Cancelo being signed. So I think everybody knows. Stones has got to know that if he doesn't perform, there's Otamendi there, and vice versa. Otamendi knows Stones is there. Mendy's got to know that Angelino was there. You've got to know there's other people there ready to take your place if you don't deliver, and I think that's crucial. Now Ederson's got to feel the same. He's got to. And also, just going to finish up, sadly saying, going back to my youth, Tim Brooke-Taylor sadly passed away today. I think he was 79, something like that. I think he was 79. And, he was in, he was fantastic. He was in the Goodies. The Goodies, 79, Tim Brooke-Taylor. The Goodies were an incredible trio. Tim Brooke-Taylor, there was Graham Garden, he was a doctor, and there was Bill Oddie, and they were around mostly, I think, 70s and 80s, and they were brilliant. I think if you watch it now, dated, but still, they were huge. Honestly, They were huge in the 70s and 80s. The Goodies were there. I'm just looking at the dates: 1970 to 1982. The Goodies, and then his a radio show called "I'm Sorry, I Haven't Got a Clue," and he was in that from 1972 to 2020. So basically, he's done 48 years on "I'm Sorry, I Haven't Got a Clue." And he was born in Buxton in Derbyshire, so it's not too far away from here. And he was a grandson, I'm just reading off Wikipedia, of Francis Pawson, who played centre forward for England in the 1880s, and his mother, international lacrosse player. His father was a solicitor. But if you as I said, the dated, but he was still, he's an exceptional talent. Kept us very well entertained in the 70s. Hi, Bink Findlater. How you doing, mate? Jack Lee, spot on. If a player has a comfortable in any team, there is no pressure to perform week in, week out. For example, last season Sterling felt the pressure from Bernardo signing. Oh yes, Sterling was awesome. He was awesome, but he knew on the left Sane was there. So everybody knew that. I mean, Bernardo, even though he performed exceptionally well last season, you knew that Mahrez was there. And Mahrez this season knows Bernardo's there. Everybody's got to feel under pressure. My plan B right now, Faris, is to get rid of Bravo. I mean, Bravo's, I think, a dependable backup, but I want to see Zach Steffen. Now, I don't know about. I know he's had a decent season, but that's only from reports. I haven't seen enough of him myself, even though I had Bundesliga, I think, on BT Sports, but I haven't got time. But the reports I'd read that he was doing all right. But I still say, if you're not going to get a homegrown player, which I can't think of anybody outside except Pope off the top of my head straight away, you're not going to get Henderson, who's at Sheffield United. That ain't going to happen. So then you've got to go outside. Do you go for another top-class keeper? Or do you go for Zach? I don't know. I don't know if Zach's good enough. I said that. But we need to find out. So, yeah, I think we're going to knock it on the head in a minute, guys. Half an hour almost up. But I think the bottom line is Ederson's got to improve whenever we start playing footy again. I don't know when that's going to be. I know it's going to be a really tough. It's going to be really tough. News-wise, I think 7 to 10 days could be horrendous. Just before I sign off, I'm just going to say, please look after yourselves. Don't go out. Don't go out. I think the stories I've heard, it's not worth it. My kids, 11 and 12 years old, they don't understand. And it's hard to understand. It's hard to understand. You don't feel threatened in any way. But this virus is really, really, it's a killer. Okay? So please don't go out. Stay at home. Look after yourselves. Look after your loved ones. Behave. And hopefully, we'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully, I'm going to have an announcement at some point this week. Big announcement. I've got a big project on, which I will ask you guys for a little bit of help on that project. But I'll let you know tomorrow or Tuesday what's happening. I need support and some help. Guys, look after yourselves. Hopefully, we'll catch you tomorrow. Take care.